Hello everybody and welcome back for part 15 of this series on creating games using Construct 2. We've added a lot of things to our game, so score, timer, health bar, all those things, a background, all those things we've added to the game. By adding the background earlier in this series, we just kind of sent it to the bottom of the current layer instead of the ideal way, which is to add more layers to the game. So adding layers gives you more control over how things are displayed, how they're organized depth-wise, and adding parallax to your game. So let's take a look at adding some simple layers to our game. The first one is just going to be for the background layer. So we have this tiled background called main background that we added early on, and now we want to put it in a separate layer from the game layer. So if you want to find where the layers tab is, it's in the projects pane by default, I believe, so you can click layers. If you don't see that, you can come up to the view up here and click layers bar. See if I can get mine back. There it is. So right now you can see we only have one layer. It's called layout 0, and let me rename it right now to game. So this is gonna be everything that's in our game right now is in our game layout, and now we want to create a separate layout for our tiled background. So let's do add layer on top, and I'll rename this to background. And the way these things are organized is the top layers here are literally on top of the ones below it. So we need to move this one down because it's going to be a background layer. And now if we go in and select our tiled background and right click, we can do move to layer, and we'll move it to the background. And it looks like it kind of just disappears. Right? We don't really know what's going on. But the reason that's happening is that our game layer is not transparent. So this background layer is behind the game layer, but the background color for the game is white and not transparent. So we need to come in, make sure the game layout is selected, and go to transparent and choose yes. So now there's our background layer again. And we can do one convenient thing here is if we select background layer and press this lock button, that will prevent us from being able to select this background layer. So we won't be able to mess with it unless we unlock it here. So I'm right clicking and trying to select it. You can't select it, which is actually very handy. Excuse me. So that's pretty simple, and we can add another layer for common elements like the time, the score, and the health. So I'm gonna kind of move these over together a little bit and take away one of those, and I'm gonna have to reposition these. So that one's, we'll do 650 by 50, and we'll do the same thing with the green. So 650 by 50. Now these are all kind of in line with each other, and what we want to do is add those on their own layer as well. And that layer we'll call an HUD layer, which stands for heads up display. So let's add another layer, and again we'll call that one, we'll rename it and call it heads up display. And we do, or actually just for short we'll just call it HUD. And we do want that one to be on top because we want to always be able to see our score, our timer, and our health. So we want everything in that HUD layer to be on top. So let's select the red bar, and let's say move to layer HUD, and then let's select green bar and move to layer HUD, and then we'll select the timer, move to layer HUD, and the score, same thing, move to layer HUD. And now we can do these, we can take these checkboxes here to get rid of the other layers just to make sure that we have everything here. And looks like we missed the red health bar, so let me go back and get that one and move it to layer HUD as well. And now let me show the HUD and move this red to the bottom of the layer, so now the green is back on top. So within the HUD layer, like I just showed, you can have still things on top or behind each other, but they're still organized in that same layer, which is on top of the way it's set up right now. Everything else, everything in the game, everything in the background. So let me show all of these, and let's see. Let's go ahead and run the game again, and it still should look. It should look like what we had before. Let me drag it over and restart it. So it looks the same as what we had before, but this is kind of a better, more efficient way to do what we did with the tile background by just sending it to the bottom of the layer. So in the future, we can get more creative and have like a parallax effect by changing the speeds at which some of these layers scroll. So if we were to scroll and follow a player throughout a game, we could change the way that the speed that the different layers scroll, giving it some depth and cool parallax effect. But that's it for adding some simple layers, so stay tuned for more videos.